Welcome to Beyond Your Troop Meeting, your gateway to making memories, exposing girls to new experiences, and adding something special to her Girl Scout year. This mini module points you to vital information necessary to safely conduct entry-level group trips away from your regular meeting place. This might include field trips during meeting times, day trips on a weekend, or simple indoor overnight experiences, such as a Girl Scout slumber party. Completion of a brief knowledge check at the end of this module gives you training credit and serves as your acknowledgement that you understand the safety policies required to limit risk and ensure girl safety. So, why is it important to get out and about with the girls? Well, because getting out and about, whether visiting a museum or exploring the great outdoors, has been a critical component of Girl Scouts since the beginning. Girls have tons of energy and love to move and explore. Equally important, some say that going on adventures is what brings the girls back year after year. This video is going to introduce 3 key topics. Supporting resources to help you use this information are below. First, we're going to talk about girl readiness and progression, and how building upon the girls' skills step by step is the best way to go. Next, we'll suggest places that you may get ideas for where to go and what to do. Finally, we'll talk about the safeguards put into place so that when you are out and about taking responsibility for other people's children, all of your bases are covered. Before we move forward, let's take a moment to establish what girl readiness and progression mean. Simply stated, a girl's readiness for a particular activity is based more upon her emotional and physical maturity than upon her age. Her knowledge and skill level and experience, combined with her emotional and physical maturity, determine her level of readiness. 2 girls at the same age may have very different levels of readiness for the same activity. Even if you are brand new to Girl Scouting, you have probably thought about progression before. While the girls might want to plan a fantastic field trip with no limitations, it is important for you to work with them and help select an outing or overnight that matches their degree of readiness. You're going to be in a better position to determine the girls' degree of readiness if you observe them in different situations and on different types of trips. Start small and work your way up before you take them away from home for the night or the weekend. It's wise to start with a field trip to a local business or organization during your regular meeting time. For example, when working on a financial literacy badge, you could visit a locally owned ice cream shop, where the owner discusses the principles of small business ownership, gives a demonstration of how ice cream is made, and concludes the visit with a tasty treat. Generally, these types of trips are no more than 2 hours in duration and give an indication of how girls behave in public and ride in the car together. Day trips on a weekend afternoon could look like attending an event such as a Juliet Lowe birthday celebration or perhaps a visit to Girl Scout camp to work on an outdoor badge. This allows you to see if the girls are able to be on time, dress appropriately, and remember to bring requested supplies, including their signed permission slips when the stakes are low. Simple overnight trips are a great next step. Maybe a thinking day lock-in at a local church, an overnight at the zoo or museum, or even a sleepover in your fenced-in backyard. After your simple overnight, try an extended overnight trip. It might look like 2 nights at a council campsite, or for older girls, it could involve traveling to another part of the state or even beyond. It's important to know that further training and approval is required for outdoor camping and also for trips lasting 3 nights or more. One of the great benefits of Girl Scouting is the opportunity to travel with Girl Scout friends around the globe, and girls who do so gain enormous benefits. They develop self-confidence and learn leadership skills by planning and earning money to pay their own way. They gain cultural insight and an appreciation for differences. As girls mature, many consider travel one of the most exciting parts about staying in Girl Scouts. Journeys and badges are the first, most logical place that ideas for troop field trips will come from. For example, the goal of this journey meeting session is for girls to explore how caring for animals is like caring for themselves. You could follow the meeting activities exactly as written in the guide, but you could decide that a field trip to the local vet with an animal care talk and demonstration would just as easily fulfill this goal. This is what makes journeys customizable. As long as what you do achieves the goal, you're good to go. Some badges are just perfect for a day trip to camp, nature preserve, or the zoo, while others take a little more creativity to see where a field trip might fit in. It would be easy enough to accomplish these badge requirements in the meeting place if you had access to a kitchen. But where else could you go? And who else could you meet that would be able to guide the girls through a demonstration and hands-on, learning by doing style of making simple snacks? A huge source of ideas and activities will come from GSNetX's Girl Programming Supplement. We call it the GPS. GPS is online and searchable, as well as downloadable as a PDF. Council-sponsored events and programs offered directly through our community partners could keep you occupied every weekend of the month. Community service activities are another great way to get girls out and about. In fact, every journey wraps up with what we call a Take Action project, so chances are good something like this is in your future. Many service units are known for hosting events for all of the Girl Scouts in their community. You may be invited to participate in a service unit dance, workshop, swimming party, cook-off, or lock-in. The possibilities are endless. One of the most important responsibilities of every adult volunteer is to facilitate a safe experience for every girl. And because Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas takes this seriously, we're going to take a little time to emphasize the important things you need to know. You'll find that Volunteer Essentials Handbook is one of the most valuable tools for you as a volunteer. The Safety-Wise chapter especially should be consulted prior to any outing or overnight. Likewise, GSNetX Volunteer Policies and Procedures gives additional guidelines. Our policies and procedures are in place to help ensure that everything that should be considered is considered. Here's a real-life example. Activities away from your regular meeting place, especially an overnight, need extra adult supervision. By consulting the girl-adult ratio chart found in Volunteer Essentials, you can be sure to include the right number of chaperones. While looking at the chart, let's take a moment to go over some important points. You can see in the example given that a regular Brownie Troop meeting requires 2 unrelated adults for the first 20 girls. However, that number goes up to 4 adults required when you get out and about. Here are 2 other things to remember. First, your troop parents and other adults can get involved as chaperones or drivers. Make sure they are all aware of the plans and informed of their roles. Additionally, anyone supervising or driving girls, other than their own, in a troop capacity must be a registered Girl Scout member and have cleared a background check. No exceptions. Keep in mind that as volunteers, you are assuming responsibility and liability for other people's children, and everyone should be cleared and covered by Girl Scout insurance. Being prepared means having someone with you who is trained and certified to handle simple accidents or emergencies. Guidelines for accepted first aid and CPR certifications can be found below. Permission slips are always needed when you leave the meeting place, and activity approval forms are sometimes needed. In Girl Scouts, you'll need to get written permission from girls' parents anytime you leave the meeting place. Depending on your activity, you might need to get pre-approval from council. You'll use the low-risk activity approval form. It should be completed by the troop leader and submitted 4 to 6 weeks in advance of the activity. Use this form if the activity is either money earning, overnight, or it involves something sensitive in nature. Both forms are accessible beneath this video with instructions for you to download and explore. Let's talk about transporting girls. When venturing out from your usual meeting place, you'll most likely be transporting girls from point A to point B and back again. Your chaperone drivers must be Girl Scout members, have cleared a background check, be licensed and insured, and over the age of 18. The girls should be instructed to wear seatbelts at all times when traveling. And you should make sure that travel packets are provided for the glove box of each car. We'll talk more about travel packets in a moment. If you have a large group, you might be tempted to rent a 15-passenger van to accommodate everyone. However, use of these types of vehicles is not allowed for safety reasons. A 12-passenger van is allowed, but we don't recommend it. Now, what are travel packets? Travel packets are generally large envelopes containing important information that goes into the glove box of each car transporting girls. By putting together your travel packets, you ensure that each car has information about its riders in case the group gets separated or there's an emergency. Your travel packet checklist is below. As a leader, you do a lot to make sure that the girls in your care stay safe. But the girls have responsibility too. Before your outing, talk to girls about safety. Practice the buddy system, always staying in pairs, and what to do if someone gets lost. That's it. Remember, the resources below are always available for your review. Be sure to take the brief knowledge check to ensure you receive volunteer training credit. We wish you and the girls tons of fun beyond your troop meeting.